Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to do a deck profile on my updated new Musketeer Legion deck. So recently, or in the past couple of videos ago, I did post my Vera one, so that was the old Limit Break one. And that was Musketeers prior to Legion. So I was surprised when BT16 swapped Aquaforce with Nectar, because I think originally Musketeers were supposed to come out in December. But Aquaforce came out early, and these guys came out late. So these guys came out with Blazing Perdition. And so this is really the main deck that I wanted to put together. I was surprised that I pulled so many Perdition stuff, so I did manage to build those. So I have been showcasing mainly the Kagero stuff, but now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to go over the Musketeers. So the Musketeers are an interesting sub-clan, really. There's lots of ways to play Musketeers, like lots of different builds. You can even mix Vera with Vera, or even Vera with Martina. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into it. So this one is going to be a pure Legion build. So there's no Vera in here. So for Vera is basically the upgrade to Cecilia. Plus, you can kind of think of her also as kind of like Celestial Zerakiel, because she does have that really good effect where the whole field, basically, like all the Musketeers get plus 3,000. I mean, that's similar to the Celestials with Zerakiel's Limit Break effect. And then next, for Peony, Musketeer, Martina. So Martina was originally the triple R, and then for English, she got downgraded, and Vera got upgraded. Main thing about her, she's the one that you're gonna want to ride first if you open up with her, mainly because she does help set up the field. So she gets the combo where you roll through the deck and set up the field first. So that's her primary purpose. That's the grade 3s. For grade 2s, obviously for Peony, Musketeer Tour, this is the Legion mate for Martina. So interesting, like Season 4 showcased these cards more than the other ones. Like when Sarah used these guys, it focused mostly on these. And that's not, I'm not sure, well, maybe, I don't know how they did it, but anyway, this is a pretty good, basically, Tour, to sum it up, Tour is the replacement to Calvant. Calvant would be the one, like if I were to build back my Vera deck, if I wanted to have two Musketeer decks, Calvant would be the one that would be in the Vera one, whereas Tour replaces Calvant. But same kind of effect, only no counterblast. And then for Saul's Vera's Legion mate, and Saul's purpose really is to, it's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of Iannis from Aquaforce, because it does have that draw. The only difference is, in a way, he's kind of, I mean, his effect is harder to do because you have to keep throwing stuff on the bottom of the deck from the drop zone, and it has to be normal units. You can't throw triggers back in, obviously. So it's kind of like a weird new kind of effect that they base it off of Cecilia style play. But he does let you draw, and the thing is, you don't have to hit the Vanguard. It's just to attack the Vanguard to draw to do that. And it has to be in Legion, so I mean, still a pretty good card. And the only other grade 2 I'm running is the Augusto. The main reason why we run Augusto is to be able to hit the Magic 21k rearguard column with the Mirka behind him. So 3 of him. If you wasn't going to run him, I recommend running Calvant just for more field setup, but really Calvant isn't necessary in here anymore because once you Legion, there's enough ways to set up the field. Looping with like Saul drawing and Tour basically doing the Calvant thing, and then Martina can also set up the deck if you open up with that. So that's the grade 2 lineup. For grade 1s, I don't even want to try to pronounce that anymore, whatever. Christie, the Quintet Wall, Phalaenopsis. Anyway, 1 Quintet Wall. Some people think that it's really good to run like 3 of these, or 2 or 4 of these. I don't think that's necessary. One is really good enough. I mean, if it was me, if I wanted to run more than one, I would run two, but I wouldn't run any more than two. Mainly because Quintet Walls can mill the deck up too fast if you have more than two, and that's just way more counterblast than what's needed for a defensive card. So I just went with one Christie and three Antonio. I just think this is a lot more reliable. I do the exact same thing with Grand Blue Legion, and it works. So I treat the deck kind of like Grand Blue in that sense, so I wouldn't really change it up. I mean, you can do 2 and 2. 2 and 2 works, but not 3. Like, I wouldn't do 3 Quintet Walls and 1 Antonio, and I definitely wouldn't do 4 Quintet Walls. It's just not as reliable. Next, 4 Lily of the Valley Musketeer Rebecca. So this is the same effect as Calvant and Tour. An older card. This card came out back when Musketeers debuted. Back when Maelstrom came out, actually. It was set 8. It was when Musketeers' first debut with Cecilia and Herman. So this stays in here mainly because there's still room for it. It's still relevant in the deck. But it's not really 100% necessary. We can go over card choice alternatives afterwards. And then I am running, for now, just 3 Mirka. I can run 4 if I want. But it's just the card choices that I went with for now. And then I am trying 3 Tamara. A lot of people don't like this card, and I definitely see why. I mean, it's not a very reliable card, and really it takes a lot of like when you want this card to go off, you really kind of need you need to be constantly checking your damage and your drop zone to try to end your hand, to decide, to kind of see if it's a good time to use this effect. Otherwise, the main reason why this is in here isn't so much to get the free call. Yeah, you can. The bonus is to get the free call. It's mainly to allow an additional way for Mirka to be a 9k boost that turn. So Tamara, I like to technically I like to throw Tamara behind the Vanguard, and Mirka usually is going to be on the left and right. So 3 Mirka and 3 Tamara, I think they work real well together. I don't really like this artwork, this promo art. I like the original Mirka, the Japanese one. I mean, I think the art matches the Tamara. So 3 and 3 for now. And that's the grade 1 lineup. So an additional lineup, like if you wanted to run a different setup, like people are probably like, well, why don't you just run Ruth? Well, really, the Ruth isn't really needed since Mirka's the booster. And we have 3 Augustos already, and when using Vera's effect, the power columns are already strong enough. So Ruth in this deck, in my opinion, the 10k grade 1 for Musketeers isn't really needed. But if you wanted to run an alternate build and you don't want to use Tamara, I would recommend 4 Mirka, 4 Rebecca, and 2 of this card. So this is another new card. I am going to showcase it here. It's not in this deck build, but it's basically Neo Nectar's Soul Blast 2 on flip 2. So it's good for that reason, because it helps you get more counterblast. The deck tends to be a bit counterblast heavy early on, but once you get the field set up, it doesn't counterblast that much. So for the trigger lineup, I am running Rainbow in here. So 4 of the Musketeer draw that came out, 4 Musketeer Stand, which came out back in Brilliant Strike last summer, and then 4 of the Criticals and the Heals, which came out in set 8 when they debuted. And the main new addition is the new starter for the Legion, Ryza. So I've seen people run the grade 3 Searcher, and I really don't think that's necessary. Really, this is good enough. Or I've seen people run this as like not the Forerunner, but like another grade 0, kind of like a Chabby the Ghosty tech in. And really, that's not. I don't see that necessary at all, guys. So this is what I ran with. Yeah, obviously, Kagero, whatever, if they want to retire, go ahead, let them retire it, and you're just gonna shuffle it back into the deck anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I mean, the way I see the way the deck works, in the new build, at least in this build, you don't have to worry too much about counterblasting that much, because really it's just going to be the Forerunner, Rebecca, and Martina. and then the one Quintet wall. But since I'm only running one Quintet wall, that's not really a problem. Nice thing about this card is that it doesn't use Counterblast. So that's basically the deck. Let me know what you guys think. I may do some kind of weird hybrid like Limit Break combined with Legion. But the thing is, they did not get their Limit Break enabler, which is kind of a big letdown. I don't know why they didn't include Neo Nectar, but they included Tachikaze and Kagero and Grand Blue and Link Joker. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the deck and Musketeers in general, how they stack up to a similar clan like Grand Blue or something. And as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.